And finally, organized labor and civil society organizations have come together to mount pressure on government to show commitment in the fight against illegal mining. Organized labor says if government does not act by the end of the month, there will be a series of actions, including strikes.
Organized labor today decided that 1, an immediate declaration of state of emergency in line with the provisions of the 1992 Constitution, Article 31. The declaration must incorporate the following. A, an order to halt all forms of mining, legal or illegal, in forest reserves and around water bodies. Immediate evacuation of all mining equipment in forest reserves and around water bodies. C, the deployment of police and military with full orders to remove, destroy all mining equipment and other earth-moving equipment around river bodies and in the forest reserve. Organized labor would urgently embark on a series of demonstrations and a nationwide strike if government fails to address the concerns raised by end of September 2024.
Civil society organizations are mobilizing to put 1 million Ghanaians out on the streets in protest to push the government to show serious commitment.
Their children are abroad. They will make their money enough to buy, they buy these days VOS. I go to politicians, I go to their houses, and I see expensive pure water, imported pure water, VOS. Who is thinking for you? We are going to hit the streets. We are going to put 1 million boots on that ground and let everybody know that Ghana does not belong to a very small few.
President Akufo-Addo's government has been accused of not showing serious commitment in the fight against Galamsey, despite his promise to put his presidency on the line. Christian leaders, including the Catholic Bishops' Conference and the Christian Council, say enough of the lip service.
Corruption, complicity of political leaders, some chiefs, and the lack of political will have further exacerbated the problem.
We demand that any individual, security service personnel, politician, or chief found to be working towards the fight against illegal mining should be made to face the full rigors of the law.
This civil society movement is being led by the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, which has outlined a number of demands.
The president must declare a state of emergency over our water bodies and get the military to clear everyone found on the water bodies. Permits given to mine in protected globally significant biodiversity areas, GSBAs, must also be abrogated. 4, repeal LI 2462 immediately, challenging the president to prove us that addressing Galamsey with the urgency it deserves now as a national crisis is of utmost priority over winning the next elections.
As organized labor and civil society move to jolt government into action, water bodies continue to be polluted and the environment is being destroyed at an alarming rate, with experts warning it could take years and billions of cedis to really reclaim lost lands. That is, if the fight against Galamsey starts now. Kweku Asante for Joy News.
As the fight against Galamsey, the question is, will the ordinary man win that fight? Well, joining me in the studio, our parliamentary affairs correspondent, who also yesterday was on this beat, Kweku Asante, is in the studio. He joins the conversation with us this morning. We also have joining the conversation Professor Eric Kwabena Che Abavare. He is UTAC president at the KNUST, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He is part of organized labor and they are threatening to down their tools. Prof, a very good morning to you, sir. Professor Abavare, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you, sir. You'd have to unmute.
Good morning. I can take very I can hear you. I don't know what
I can hear you too. It's a bit patchy. I think it may be the connection, but my team will work on it. Just hold in the background for me, Prof. Let me bring in Kweku Asante, who is in the studio. So, Kweku, you've been on this beat. You were at the press center yesterday where all this talk, I mean, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe has been talking to us, interacting with us. What really happened and what are these groups? In fact, we'll take a look at which groups are involved, but what are they calling for?
Well, so almost all civil society organizations in the country now coming together to have their voices heard on the illegal mining menace under the coalition of the media coalition against illegal mining, making specific demands of government. First, I mean, if you look at some of the demands that are being made by organized labor itself, they want an immediate declaration of a state of emergency in line with the constitutional provisions. And they say that this declaration must incorporate an order to halt all forms of mining in line with the mining of forest reserves laws and around water bodies. They want an immediate evacuation of all mining equipment in forest reserves and around water bodies. They also want the deployment of the police and the military with full orders to remove and destroy all mining equipment and other earth-moving equipment around water bodies and in the forest reserves. They also want the immediate revocation of LI 2462 and the withdrawal of all licenses granted for prospecting and mining in forests and protected reserves and also around water bodies. And they want a special court to be set up to prosecute some of these cases. That is specifically what the organized labor is demanding. If you look at the broad CSOs, they also want an immediate declaration of a state of emergency. They want some concessions that have been granted that are currently overlapping in the forest reserves. Just recently, that expose that came in from the 4th Estate about certain politically connected persons having been given the right to go into some Ghanaian forest and mine. They want some of those mining leases to also be withdrawn. And they are calling for water bodies, which serve as the sources of these forest reserves, to be protected alongside the globally significant biodiversity areas, and some of those mining leases must be abrogated. They also make the demand that LI 2462 must be revealed. And they want a commitment from both John...
Because that is what allows people to even go into restricted areas, forest reserves, and mine there.
Exactly. And they want John Mahama, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to publicly commit their resolve and their commitment to the fight against illegal mining. They say so far both the political classes have really been paying lip service to the fight, and they are demanding some concrete action. They expect them to come out publicly and sign a declaration of a sort. So these organizations coming together to make this demand of government up to the end of the month. If the government does not act, like you said, organized labor say they will down their tools. They will embark on a series of actions, including strikes. There will be protests, and Senior Hosi says they are hoping to get 1 million
Ghanaians on the streets
across the country.
In other words, they want everything to come to a standstill.
A standstill. In fact, they want something of the sort around when the organized labor said they did not want that deal to sell off the state hotels. They want a similar protest and a similar kind of organized action. You know,
if not bigger.
If not bigger. You know, once organized labor decided to down their tools, the government had to back in and then decided that the hotel sales were not going to go on. So they want something of that sort by the end of the month.
Let's see. I mean, you've already mentioned the first request there. You can go and look at some of them at the repeal of LI 2462. And then presidential candidates also supporting this. Let's look at the list of those bodies that are going for this. They actually, there's quite a list of them. Walk us through them.
Yeah, if you look at the organizations, you have the Catholic Bishops Conference.
The Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference. I've seen the statement signed by Most Reverend
Matthew Okwesi-Gyamfi. He himself was there at this news conference.
Exactly.
The Christian Council is part of this. There's also the Executive Women's Network. There's the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. There is the Ghana Journalists Association itself. Eco-conscious citizens.
Our president was there
definitely.
To speak.
There's the Chamber of Mines. And there's also the Small Scale Mining Association. Already they have been called to ban small scale mining.
Right.
So they know that if they themselves do not help in stamping out illegal mining, their business is going to be affected. There's the Trades Union Congress, there's the Ghana Federation of Labor, and then an amalgam of civil society organizations, One Ghana Movement, Citizen Movement Against Corruption, and a host of them that are coming together under this umbrella to make these demands.
maybe finally this will bring some real action and not lip service. But let me bring in Professor Abavare, UTAG president at the KNUST, on this matter. You have been, you are with UTAG, which is also threatening that, look, if the right things are not done, even we in academia will also down our tools to the detriment of course, the institutions and the studies of students. But how crucial is it that we have got to this point where this is finally crystallizing for you, Prof?
Thank you very much, my brother. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you, Prof.
I want to place on record that in the past, I've been hearing people say that the president lied to me through the presidency. I never believed them. And I said, you guys don't want good for Ghana. This is a man who dared to solve the problem of Ghana. The man vowed his presidency to solve this menace of Galamsey. And in fact, you and I know Galamsey reached its peak in 2015. And on that basis, he rode on it in 2016 as campaign promise to make sure Galamsey menace a thing of the past. You and I know also that when he assumed power, 2017 to 19, the stability of the water body actually reduced. So come to my point that the man is a big liar.
When whom are you saying is a great liar? The president?
Yes, I'm sad because I've said it on air.
But
hold on. I'm saying this because
if I may, you started by saying that you had heard people say that the president lied to get to power, and that now you feel he's a great liar. But others have also tried to deal with Galamsey. They have not been able to. Calling the president a great liar, I don't think that's fair, is it?
It is very, very fair. If you allow me to explain. And he himself will admit that I am not lying. You see, as we speak, he is in KNUST, Ghana Bar Association, having a meeting there. He's an astute lawyer. And in all the deliberations, this man has refused even to comment on Galamsey. He has refused to comment on Galamsey. And I want to place again on record that once upon a time, when issues of Professor Manso, the then Minister of Environment, was seizing people's excavators and trains, the president made us believe that he was doing the wrong thing. But today, I believe the old man, Frimpong, Nana-Addo has all the power to stop Galamsey, trust me, if he wants to. The point is that he doesn't want to. That's simple. He has all it takes to stop Galamsey now, if he wants to. The point is that he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. Why? For political expediency. But I've explained one, because I'm a physicist. I always speak physics. The planet Earth has at least 4 billion years to live, because the sun has 4 billion years to live. And if in our time we want to destroy the planet before the 4 billion years, then the man we all believed and trusted that he would solve the problem. And indeed, he made attempts. 2017 to 19, what was the magic wand? If I should ask. The stability reduced, according to experts, to about 70%. Now you are back to even beyond zero. That's negative. And he never made any comment. And I feel so sad, even the Minister of Natural Resources, that when organized labor asked for state of emergency, he said it's a draconian statement. He's not on the job. Likewise, his boss also not on the job. And they are not willing, if they are on the job too, they are not willing to solve the problem. And if they are not willing to solve the problem, then they must not be in office. So they should resign.
Okay.
So I call for the resignation of the president.
So you're calling for the resignation of the president? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, for his failure, for his big, massive failure on Galamsey.
Okay.
But not only that, I don't rest my case there. I come to the opposition. I heard President John Dramani,
Muhammad,
at some constituency or some place, telling the Galamseyers that when he assumed power, as Ghanaians vote for him, you allow them to continue, and if he release those who are in prison, this is no shameful statement. Very shameful. And so they don't. He doesn't qualify even to become a president of Ghana. Take me by my word. So in simple terms, the issue of Galamsey, we know the solution. We know who are involved. We know what we can do to solve it. The issue is that we don't want to do.
All right. So you are in support of the demonstration. Are you in support of the demonstration? That will be, and then we'll take your final words. Are you in support of the demonstration?
A demonstration is not the answer. Demonstration is not the answer. Because for me, when you said that demonstration, we have had several demonstrations.
So what do we do? What do we do?
We have seen the president himself organizing most of the mammoth demonstrations. What we do, if you ask me, what do we do? We know the solution, and we don't want to do. So what can you do? The solution is simple. If the president really wants to solve it, he must just say, going forward, I do not want to see any earth-moving machine on our roads going anywhere. That statement alone will suffice everything. It doesn't have to say anything. I do not want to see any earth-moving machine, excavators, this what do you call it? The trucks that carry those excavators.
All right.
If such statement is made, is it difficult to make that statement because of political experience? So when I say it's reneging on the office, that's my bit.
All right. Prof, we're grateful for your time this morning. You've made some very interesting points. Professor Eric Kwabena-Che Abavare is UTAG president at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Before we get into our next conversation, let go of the overpriced land, home ownership and furnishing deals. Get the best deals for all your housing needs in one place. Visit the EcoBank Joy News Mini Fair at Good Park near Accra Mall from the 13th of September to the 15th of September 2024. The fair is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, and admission is free. Be there to engage various stakeholders in the housing value chain for your home ownership needs. EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats, Rent to Own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value, safety and home solutions. You think of a door, we have it. We'll be back with more on the AM show. Do stay.